welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you're new here, I post weekly about careers in psychology and being an aspiring clinical psychologist. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please give my channel a subscribe. Thank you. So today is going to be a bit more of a chilled video. I'm kind of going to be talking about my thoughts and feelings, kind of reflecting on starting the child and young people psychological wellbeing course. So I've been doing it now for 3 weeks. So I'm still quite new. So I thought it would be, kind of interesting to just talk a little bit about how I'm feeling about the course. So it's kind of a bit more of a chill out video, and I'm just going to be talking about how I feel about things so far. Also, I feel like I'm having a really bad face day and hair day today. My face looks really gross, so feel free to ignore that. Thank you. So one of the big thoughts I kind of had when I started this course was kind of like whether I should be doing it or not. I have a dream to become a clinical psychologist in the future, and this is more of an untraditional route to get into clinical psychology. I know people do it, but that was something that I was worried about, that kind of doing this instead of doing an assistant psychologist post, whether that would be detrimental or not to getting onto the doctorate. So I was kind of having a lot of thoughts around that, and actually whether I should be doing it, whether I made the right decision by doing this course, or whether I should have done something else, whether I should have done the more assistant psychologist route. And I know that, there isn't a right answer. Doing this, I know that I will pick up clinical skills and things like that, but that was something that was kind of running through my head to begin with. I was kind of having doubts about whether this was a good idea, whether I should be taking this route or not, what it would mean for me in the future by doing this instead of doing an assistant psychologist position. Even now, it still kind of pops up, and I'm still kind of thinking, did I make the right decision by doing this? Am I going to learn enough to be able to get onto the doctorate? Would I have learned more if I had done an assistant psychologist position? On the course, they look at low interventions, that low intensity interventions, and I was kind of thinking, would I get a more wider amount of experience if I had done an assistant psychologist position? So that was kind of the number one thought running through my mind, especially to begin with. And obviously that kind of led me to think and kind of start panicking a little bit about, like, do I really want to do this? Is this something that I want to do? Am I just doing it for the sake of it almost? So I was actually really concerned about that, honestly. All the people I was speaking to were so excited to start it, and I was in a way, but I was also kind of having those doubts about whether I should have taken this path. You of course get the famous imposter syndrome that everyone has when starting courses like this, and you're kind of thinking, should I even be here? Am I good enough to be on this course? And kind of contesting that against, is this even the right thing for me to be doing? Should I even be doing this? A couple of weeks kind of into the course, I was kind of feeling both hopeful and excited, looking forward to having something to do this year. I love learning, and I love academia, and I've had a year and a half out since finishing my masters, and I was kind of excited actually to get back into it and see where this path would lead me. And I was feeling really hopeful for the role. I think that because CYPWPs is a very new role, That was something that was making me feel really excited, and something that makes me feel really hopeful actually. And because the service that I work for has never had PWPs before, and we're going to be kind of changing the individuals that we accept into CAMS, and kind of lowering the threshold for the, you know, the criteria to meet CAMS support by introducing us PWPs, that was something that I was really excited about as well. So I was going through stages of feeling really hopeful and really excited, and at the same time feeling quite stressed and overwhelmed. I wasn't 100% sure what I was expecting when I first joined, and you know, just hearing about the university work that we was going to do this year, and hearing about, you know, balancing that with a caseload, I was feeling really stressed and overwhelmed, and honestly I still am a little bit. I'm feeling like I've got so much work to do and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Also for me, like, stress is such a big trigger in my eating disorder, and I know that when I am stressed, that's kind of when, for me, I am most likely to struggle with anorexia. So I have to, you know, be careful. And I was thinking, you know, if this is gonna be really stressful and really overwhelming, how am I going to cope with that? And I need to make sure that I balance the work with also relaxing too, just so I don't get so overwhelmed. Another thought that was kind of going through my mind was my expectations of me on this course. I think coming from quite a strong academic background, not long since I did my undergraduate degree and then I did my master's degree, you know, I have these high expectations for myself to do well in this, especially because a lot of the things that we are talking about on this course I have already covered on my master's. And I don't know, I was kind of feeling like I have really high expectations of myself on this course, and how would I cope if I didn't meet them, if I was to get stressed, or if I, you know, didn't do so well in an essay or in a recording. And I was kind of like reflecting on the fact that my expectations for me are quite high, and probably impossibly so, honestly. I am that person that sets really high expectations for themselves and really high goals for themselves, and then if I don't meet that, I feel like shit. So I think it is kind of like managing those expectations a bit, and being aware that this is a really hard course. It's a really hard time to start something new like this in the middle of a pandemic. And it's hard enough without having to deal with all of that, and the general kind of societal uncertainty that we're all dealing with. Taking that into consideration and reminding myself that actually, you know, it is quite difficult, this course. Just because you've done similar things doesn't mean that it's going to be any easier at all. And actually I still struggle a lot with the work, and just kind of be aware of that, and not to get too disappointed in myself if, you know, I don't do so well at something. Another kind of reflection for me was this idea of surviving, not thriving, and it kind of links into my worries that maybe I wasn't as excited about doing this course as a lot of the other people on the course were, and my self-doubts about whether I made the right decision would kind of make this a year of the idea of surviving, not thriving, or I'm just kind of like getting through it rather than enjoying what I'm doing. And I don't think that is true necessarily. I think that actually I am going to enjoy doing the course. I think it was just something that I was thinking about. And it was kind of almost just kind of worrying about whether I would enjoy it or not, almost. I guess because I wasn't sure to begin with if I wanted to do it. I was kind of worried that that would mean that I maybe wouldn't enjoy it, and maybe would just kind of see it as something to kind of get through rather than take it as an opportunity to actually really learn something, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like I'm just kind of rambling a little bit, but I also think that it is kind of important to do this, and hopefully if you're in similar positions, or starting something new, you can kind of see that you're not on your own. And I know other people have these kind of doubts and worries and things like that when starting a new course, so I thought it would be important to share some of the things that have come up for me over the past few weeks of starting this course. Like I said, I am hopeful about what's going to happen. I am hopeful about the role. I am excited about the role, definitely. These are just kind of some reflections for me, and yeah, just kind of using this as a bit of a almost reflective diary for me. I think this video has been super rambly. I hope that kind of made sense, and hopefully if you guys are in similar positions, it can kind of show you that you're not alone, and you know, we all have these worries and doubts when we first start a course. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.